I would like you to organize an expedition to the island of Rocca. Arthur and myself will come with you.
Are you serious?
Yes.
It's hard enough for a man. For a woman, it would be nearly impossible.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to another bad movie review. Today I watched Slave of the Cannibal God, also known as Mountain of the Cannibal God. Straight out of the 70s, 1978, I believe. And coming in at about an hour and a half, a little over that. This little gem brings you, well, pretty straightforward plot lines. Let's get right into it. The plot is basically in New Guinea, land of cannibals apparently. Susan Stevenson, played by Euro starlet Ursula Andress, goes into the jungle in search of her husband's lost expedition. She hires Professor Edward Foster, played by Stacy Keach, and also travels with some locals and her hot-headed brother Arthur. They also run into a mission full of like local village of some sort where they meet a guy's name I think is Manilow that they take along on the rest of their expedition. And they're heading up toward a Cannibal Mountain, home of the Cannibal God. There are, of course, some greedy motives waiting to be discovered, but this little Italian, supposedly horror gem, just kind of keeps the pacing going, and, well, it's not exactly a high-end, well-thought-out film. I'm kind of indifferent on this one. There's some fairly disturbing scenes, like wiping a dead body juices on Susan's face. That's pretty messed up. Overall, the acting's fine, I thought. Pretty standard fare for Italian horror. And Stacy Keach does a good job. Obviously, this was an Italian and English film. So it does look like there is some dubbing, but I think it's filmed in English. You may know Ursula Andress from the 1981 classic Clash of the Titans, and she also was Vesper Lind in the original Casino Royale with Peter Sellers. The technical side of this, I mean, the acting was fine, like I said, but the sound effects were a little crappy, especially during fight scenes. There was the kung fu dubbing every time somebody got hit. The music was like this weird 70s kind of sound with some goofy noises thrown in. There was a lot of nature footage in there too to kind of fill time, which kind of annoyed me. And one of the crocodiles looked fake, but might not have been. The advertising art was good. It had a really cool poster with Ursula Andress with her hands over her head. But the science sound effects, jeez, were pretty lame. I thought they were pretty low end, even for the 70s. If you're an animal rights activist, don't watch this movie. Spider gets murdered. They kill a couple of snakes. They slice open a lizard while it's alive and skin it. It's pretty graphic too. So that may be a turnoff. There is two versions of this. The one most commonly found is an edited version, where you don't see Ursula's boobs, but the extended cut does have them, apparently. I have yet to find a copy of the extended cut. I know it's out there, but I refuse to pay money for a movie I already own, because I'm cheap. My copy came in on the Drive-In Movie Classics 50-pack from Mill Creek Entertainment. And I'm a big fan of these 50 packs, in case you hadn't noticed. I watch a lot of those. But they do tend to have edited versions if there's more than one version available, which is fine. I mean, the edited version of this is very similar to the extended from everything I've seen, except you don't see Ursula's boobs. You do get to see a native girl's boobs, and you know, they're pretty nice. They're worth looking at. She's cute. I believe that her name is Luigini Rokai. And she was also in Cannibal Holocaust. Slightly more violent movie. This was not Cannibal Holocaust. This was more of a straightforward adventure film. And most of it is just walking through the jungle and wrestling snakes, I think. There are some, like, booby traps and stuff, but it's just a lot of Lord of the Rings style walking around. Oh, there is a brief dong shot of the sinister brother, Arthur. So if you're into that, it's like 2 seconds. Enjoy. Otherwise, even though there's a Bond girl in this, and an attractive one at that, I won't recommend I personally don't recommend the edited version. If you're going to get a movie like this, you need to get the unedited, uncut version, because those are always a little more graphic. Like I said, a lot of the special effects were really low end, so if you're going to watch that type of movie, you might as well at least get your bang for your buck. So the unedited is out there. It's a little harder to find, but this one wasn't bad. It was pretty standard fare for an Italian horror film. They try and focus a little too much on the gore, but it really didn't pay off for me. Otherwise, the acting was fine. Yeah, it was just kind of a tepid, slightly boring movie. I did think Stacy Keach was really good, though. He usually is. And this movie pretty much just was a pan for me. I don't have much to say about it. It was just kind of there, and it wasn't particularly great. It wasn't terrible. It was just I don't know. It just kind of exists. It's there. The uncut version I'm looking now is available for like $7 apparently on Amazon as of this recording in 2016. But it's under the name Mountain of the Cannibal God, which I guess is the more popular title of it. So be sure and check that out. If you're gonna see this movie, which if you're a Cannibal fan, if there is such a thing, then this movie would probably be okay for you, but it's not Cannibal Holocaust. It's not a gore fest. There's very little murder. The few killings are a little over the top. Although that you do get to see the character of Susan eating part of her brother, so that's a little out there. And it's straight out of Italy, so if you like Italian films, this will probably be okay for you. It's just not my thing. This one didn't live up to some of the other horror films I've seen out of Italy. They usually do a little bit better than this, but they did manage to get a decent cast at least. For what it is, it's okay. It just wasn't my thing. If you like cannibal films, this is probably kind of mid-range, maybe even a little tame for you, but it might be worth watching just for the completionism's sake. So I'm giving it a pass, but if you like Ursula Andress, which everybody does, let's face it, then it's worth watching. And if you like Stacy Keach, it might be worth watching. And if you like cannibal films, like I said, it's probably worth checking out just for the historical value, because you're going to hear it referenced a lot from filmmakers. So that kind of wraps this up. I don't really have anything else to say about this, except the lizard scene was a little graphic, and that was an actual killing of a lizard. And I don't really care about dead spiders that much, generally speaking. So, if you're an animal rights activist, avoid it. If you like cannibal films, might be worth checking out. Otherwise, it was kind of tame. Not as gory as it could have been or implies to be, and there's really not that much cannibalism. So, it's a pass for me. Thanks for listening, and check out some of my other reviews. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks for listening.
That's right! You don't forget the taste of human flesh.